COVID fears sending oil prices tumbling yesterday, but a big rebound today ahead of OPEC's big meeting, which is tomorrow. Brian Sullivan joins us now with more, and it reminds me of you say one thing, I say the other. Is it supply or demand? Is it 50? What's most important in the oil patch right now, Brian? Is it supply or demand? You can't say. It's 50-50 exactly, wouldn't you say?
I was going to say yes to your question. I was going to be the double-handed economist, Joe, and give you both hands on that. I mean, you're right. What do you say? You're down 4% yesterday. You're up nearly 5% right now. So a big start to December for crude oil. Of course, that coming off what was not just yesterday. It was a November to forget. Crude oil down 20% in a month. Worst month since the pandemic began last March. Most energy stocks going with it. The average drop by a supercap oil stock was a drop of 7% in November. So not as much as the commodity itself, but still bad. So the question is this, is the free fall done? Is it supply? Is it demand? I don't know. Goldman Sachs, though, Joe, out this morning on oil with a note saying that capitulation looks near. And they put the move in recent context. Listen to this. Goldman says the recent price slide is sort of the equivalent of a 700,000 barrel a day negative demand hit, or the same as not one single plane flying anywhere in the world for 3 months, or a world worse off than before vaccines. Basically saying, is the selling overdone? You decide. The markets are always correct in a way, but Goldman putting the move in context. All this, as we note that OPEC does meet really today and tomorrow, one of these like 2-day Fed meetings. Tomorrow the day where they'll make the call on what they're going to do for output. The question is, will they pause their current pace of adding 400,000 barrels a day more each month? Now, they do have the ability to pause that under their deal for up to 3 months, and they might. But because there is expectation of an oversupply next year, in part due to the release also from our emergency reserves, creating a lot of uncertainty and something else to consider, by the way. Many OPEC members simply, Joe, do not have the ability to add more capacity right now because they're already running at or near capacity because they idle their facilities. And oil facilities are not just something like you switch the light on and off. They take time. I will note the Iraqi energy minister just on the tape, according to state news in Iraq, saying that he thinks they will add 400,000 more barrels per day, kind of continue on. And by the way, a programming note, next week I'll be at the biggest oil and gas conference in the world, Monday and Tuesday. It's in Houston. First time in America in 40 years. Every major CEO there from around the world, including the head of OPEC. So it should be kind of a de facto in-person OPEC meeting in Texas, Joe. And I'll be bringing Squawk some guests from said conference. What do you make of that?
I'm excited. I think it's great. And, you know, tough to go to Austria right now, to Vienna. So it's good that it's good for you that it's in Texas.